Hey guys, this is Mark Tauriello and you're watching another episode of Creep Cinema. Today I'm going to be reviewing an anthology horror titled Holidays. Anthology horrors are definitely something that I see picking up a lot in the horror genre. You have films like the ABCs of Death, you also have the VHS series, which I absolutely love. So now we have Holidays. So obviously it's broken up into different holiday horrors. You know, you have Christmas, you have Valentine's Day, you have Mother's Day, etc., etc. So I'm going to break it down the line because there's 8 holidays that they cover in this, and some stories are really good, and some are completely terrible, and then some are in between. And the only way I can really review this is to break it down by story. So the first holiday that they cover is Valentine's Day. I enjoyed this one just because visually, again, it was something really beautiful. The concept of this was a young girl that's in high school. She is being bullied by some of her peers, and she is in love with her swim coach. And her name is Maxine, and they call her Maxi Pad. So I definitely see that as like a nod to Carrie. And at the end, she ends up killing one of the girls and cutting out her heart and giving it to the coach as a Valentine's Day gift. I mean, it's clever, it's fun, it's very like tongue-in-cheek. I definitely saw the ending coming. I feel like anyone that watches horror movies would. But it definitely plays on that whole revenge, kitsch kind of feel. You know what you're getting into with this one. So it's nothing more than what it is. And it's just a fun little story. The next holiday that they cover was St. Patrick's Day. And at first when I was watching it, I said, oh, this is cool. I've never seen them do like a St. Patrick's Day horror except for like, Leprechaun. So I wanted to see where they wanted to take it. And they took it. They went somewhere really abstract with this one. It was one of my least favorite out of the 8. But the premise is that this teacher has this like weird new student. She doesn't talk to any of the girls. She's like nonverbal. And she finds out that she's pregnant. The teacher's pregnant, and she's pregnant with a snake. And they kind of tie it in with St. Patrick's Day because St. Patrick, threw all the snakes out of Ireland. And at the end of the story, she ends up giving birth to a snake. This weird cult takes the snake and they celebrate it, and it's kind of like Wicker Man. It doesn't really make sense, but she chooses to accept her fate as being the mother to this weird snake creature. It kind of plays on that Rosemary's Baby kind of vibe too, that, whatever you give birth to, you choose to love it. I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. I'm not interested in these like birth horrors, and I thought it was kind of silly. So moving on, the next one was Easter, and this one was really something else because the premise to this is this young girl, she's going to bed before Easter. The mom's tucking her in, and she's basically like, "Oh, go to bed so the Easter bunny can, give you your little Easter eggs and all that." And the girl kind of confuses the story of the Easter bunny with the story of Jesus dying and coming back from the dead. And before going to bed, it definitely makes her feel uneasy and scared, and she thinks that, Jesus in zombie form is gonna, come in the middle of the night, or the Easter bunny could be a monster. So in the middle of the night, she wakes up to get some water, and she encounters this Easter bunny, and it's a fusion of dead Jesus with a bunny demon, and he ends up kind of like, snatching her away, and then that's that. It's the shortest story in the entire anthology, but it was so weird to see like a Jesus monster Easter bunny, but it was really well done for what it was. I do like the fact that they did not rely on CGI. I absolutely hate CGI, so they stuck to some old school special effects, and it made me feel like I was watching an episode of Tales from the Crypt or Tales from the Dark Side. So if you like those kind of 80s monsters, then you'll probably really enjoy Easter. And if you are a non-churchgoer like myself, you'll probably enjoy it as well because it kind of pokes fun at the whole Jesus story. After that, there was one called Mother's Day. Again, this was probably my absolute least favorite out of the entire series. This woman, she goes to a doctor because she keeps getting pregnant, even though she's using condoms and contraceptives, but she kind of has this curse where every time she has sex, she gets pregnant, and I think she had like 20 abortions in the story. But the one doctor sends her off to some commune of women in the middle of the desert. They're a bunch of hippies, and they are all there because they want to have children and they can't give birth, so they're all there doing these weird rituals. And somehow this woman that always gets pregnant gets sucked into the mix. They keep her captive, and she kind of becomes this like surrogate mother for like this huge group of women that can't get pregnant, and they keep her there captive while she's pregnant. Again, it's another one of those like pregnancy horrors, and I don't know, it's just not my taste. I just find them to be really boring. So I took some notes on this, and all I said was hated, weird desert commune. At the end, she gives birth to this like human arm demon hand, and it's like rah, and that's it. So I thought it was pretty dumb. They could have taken the holiday a step further and actually done something. Like in Creepshow with Father's Day, with the dead father coming back from the dead for revenge. I wish they took it. I just wish they took it somewhere else. Okay, so moving on. After that came my personal favorite one, which is Father's Day. That one, to me, made it worth watching the entire movie. So the premise to that one is this girl, she's like a teacher, and she comes home from work, and she gets a package in the mail that says, like, Happy Father's Day. And it's an old school, like, tape player, and it's basically, she plays the tape, and it's a message from her father who disappeared years ago. She was told that he died, and he left her a recording saying that he is still alive and how she can find him. And he recorded it when he was taking her as a child to the beach on their last day together before he disappeared. So throughout the entire story, she's listening to this recorder, and she drives to this like decrepit beach community, and she's kind of listening to the tape of her father explain where to go, and she's walking along this like vacated beach. It's really eerie. And eventually she finds her father in this building, and he's been waiting for her, but instead he's a demon, and he makes a demon roar, and it's the end of the thing. But the things that I absolutely really loved about this was the music. Again, it was very like synthy, and it just pulled you in. I thought that the cinematography was spot on, absolutely beautiful. I really felt the same atmosphere and feeling that I get when I watch Carnival of Souls. So I think it played on those concepts really well. I also liked that it was a very emotional piece. You can definitely see how your main character was like on the verge of tears and scared but hopeful at the same time. And there's just so much buildup and anticipation while she's listening to the audio or the tapes, and you watch her go from like location to location until she gets closer and closer to her father. The only thing I didn't like about this was the ending. I thought they could have done something else with it. But regardless, this was my favorite one in the entire anthology. The next one after that was Halloween. This one was kind of mediocre. The premise to this is that these girls, they move to Hollywood to live in this like loft apartment, but it's actually just like a normal crappy apartment, and they did this so they can get webcam jobs, and that's part of the deal. And the guy that runs it is like a complete chauvinistic asshole, and he's like verbally abusive to them, and they're kind of like sex slaves in a way, and kind of trapped living at his place doing webcam. and the one night he comes home and it's Halloween, and they're kind of all upset because someone on the webcam called them a bunch of whores, and then he wants to go rape one of them, and then they all gang up on him and knock him out, and then he wakes up, naked with a vibrator shoved up his ass, and his butt cheeks are glued together, and it's all done on webcam, and the girls kind of make a mockery of him the same way that he did them. And ultimately, it's your rape revenge. I think it really plays on the "I spit on your grave" kind of idea. I think it's about women empowerment. So I like those aspects of it, but I don't like the fact that there was really nothing to do with the holiday of Halloween, except the fact that it happened to take place on Halloween. So that one was okay. The next two were Christmas and New Year's. Christmas was a little more interesting than the New Year's one because it's got like Seth Green. He plays this father, and he wants to get his kid these virtual reality goggles that they really want, and it's Christmas Eve, and the store closes, and he can't get it, and this guy that just purchased one starts having a heart attack, and instead of helping him, he lets him die. Then he takes off with his virtual reality goggles to give to his kids to make their, Christmas amazing. But when trying on the goggles, it kind of recorded exactly what happened with the murder, and he sees this on the goggles, and he can't really escape it. So there's like a sense of, horror in the realm that, oh, I'm scared, I'm gonna get caught, and the story continues to unfold, and the wife starts using it, and the wife actually killed her boss the same exact night because the boss didn't give her Christmas bonus. So when she puts on the goggles, she relives that moment, and they're both actually people that killed someone, and in some weird abstract way, it brought them closer together and hopefully fixed their broken marriage because you could see that they were not a happy couple. So I guess killing someone on holidays is the best way to, fix a marriage. And then finally was New Year's. Again, this one was kind of mediocre. I saw the ending coming. This guy meets women on dating websites, and he's a psychopath killer. And he meets one of his new victims, but it turns out that she is a serial killer herself. So it becomes this cat and mouse kind of thing where, the cat is now the mouse, and the mouse is the cat, or however you want to phrase it. And at the end of the thing, she ends up killing him. But I knew the whole time that she was going to be a nut job because the guy had really, creepy, dirty, blacked out teeth. And they kept making it a point to, reference his teeth. And she seemed completely, unfazed by it. So I was like, oh, she's probably, a killer. And then, I was right. And the New Year's thing comes into play because that's when they decided to have their date. It was on New Year's Eve. And then they have to count down the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 while he's getting killed. So, I mean, all in all, I don't know. I gave this movie a 6 out of 10. I had to rate each individual holiday, and then most of the scores were a 5 or 6, and then the Father's Day I gave a 9. So all in all, I would say a 6. Listen, if you like horror and you like anthologies, definitely check this movie out. I think that there's a few gems in this, but there is also a lot of crap that's in this film too. But if it's going to be your first anthology horror, stick with the classics. You can't go wrong with Creepshow. And I absolutely adore the VHS series. So those are better anthologies than holidays. But I'm glad that this was done. So 6 out of 10, check it out. Let me know what your thoughts are on this with the comments below. Especially with the Father's Day one. If you have anything to say about that or what your interpretation is of the ending, let me know, okay? Thank you so much for watching Creep Cinema. This has been the longest episode. I need water and a beer, so I'm going to take care of that right now. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.